University of Hawaii's world-renowned School of Ocean and Earth Science and Technology, also known as SOES, brings in millions of dollars for research and innovation. Joining us is SOES Dean Chip Fletcher, who is also a leading climate scientist and considered an expert on climate change. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Chip.
Dean Fletcher. Okay, so SOES has been nationally and internationally ranked in a broad range of areas from ocean to earth, atmospheric, and space scientists. What are some of the extramurally funded projects from the school?
Well, this year we've had a couple of amazing projects. One is our hybrid reef project, and we have a couple of modules here.
Okay.
These are going to be connected to the seafloor, and
how big are they?
Well, they're going to be much larger,
right.
but the reef is going to be modular, as I said. So these will be built on top of each other to create a reef that's several hundred meters long.
Oh, wow.
And they're going to be instrumented, as well as influencing the local environment. So they'll be sensing water temperature, they'll be sensing carbon dioxide content, and they're going to have components that are going to cool the reef. They are going to emit sounds of a healthy reef in order to attract an ecosystem around it.
So you'll be able to research the development of reefs, what they need, what harms them, all that kind of stuff.
That's right. It's basically putting a laboratory on the seafloor in order to both promote a healthy reef ecosystem as well as monitor the coral environment and the algae environment over the next decades or two as climate change changes the water column and changes the seafloor.
That's pretty good. That's how they're going to help. You're going to be able to get all that information out of them. How long does it take for for a healthy reef to grow on one of these things?
Well, we can get encrusting coral growing on these within a few months. And so it's one of the key features here is that we'll be able to monitor coral growth on this modular system. And if we don't see a strong response by the ecosystem, we can change conditions, and that experimentation is exactly the sort of data that we're going to be collecting to understand how reefs are changing.
I don't think people appreciate how long it takes coral to develop and how precious it actually is. So you're going to be working on a project related to sea level rise as well.
That's right.
What have you discovered about the impact on us specifically?
Well, we have a website here that we can bring up.
This is great because you can see the sea level.
Yeah. So we're going to focus in on Waikiki here, and what we're showing here is what's known as passive flooding.
Okay.
This is simply raising sea level as if there were no waves at high tide, and how would it flood the shoreline and the community?
If we got sea level rise from climate change, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, we will get sea level rise from climate change.
I'm with you on that.
This shows 4 feet of sea level rise, which is what we're projecting for the end of the century. But sea level rise does more types of flooding than many people realize. So in green is the water table rising along with the ocean rising. So this is groundwater inundation, and this is why one reason why simply building seawalls is not going to keep the ocean out. The water table is going to rise, basically forming new wetlands. We also have our drainage systems, you know, the storm drain systems, which are designed to take rain away. Those are going to be discharging water from the ocean onto the streets.
That's bad.
Yeah, it is bad. And you can see that that's in the green. And
I did not know you could do all the different types of things. What's the purple here?
Purple is wave flooding in the summertime. So southern swell comes in, hits the south shores of the islands every summer. And as sea level rises, these waves are going to penetrate further landward.
This is amazing. This is good stuff. People don't realize how much is underneath us and how much sea level rise will affect us. And this is just by 4 feet, which is expected by the end of the century.
By the end of the century. We're showing roads that are flooded. The thick red lines are 2 feet of flooding, which can stop emergency vehicles. The thin red lines are 1 foot of flooding, which will stop regular passenger vehicles, and every red dot is an individual storm drain that is designed to drain water out of the gutter along the side of the road, but instead is going to be backflowing salt water into the community.
Dean Fletcher, I talked to you about this for an hour. Come back to it. Would you come back to it? Would you come back someday and talk more about this?
Would love to.
Because this is going to impact Hawaii. Do you think we're being proactive enough, real quick?
Actually, we're leading the nation in moving forward, but even that isn't quite fast enough.
That's what I thought. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Dean Fletcher.